Yeah, so this is commitment right here. Brett's on his way
There
back
you
to
go.
Alabama, and we are live and we are ready. Jim may or may not be able to join us this morning, but we're going to get started either way. So
Perfect.
let's go
drive.
ahead. Yes, let's go ahead and see if I can not screw this up too much. So let's go ahead and look at our, what am I doing here? Hold on. See, I've already screwed up. Here we go. Hold on. This is what happens when, can y'all see that?
Nope.
No, dang it. Okay. I'm on my, okay, come on, Erika. Why is this not?
I see an Eiffel Tower.
I know, but that's not where I'm trying to take us. I'm trying to take us to our numbers and it's not wanting to pull up because I've got everything on here, but oh my goodness. Hold on. Please hold.
Stop share. There.
There.
Okay.
Hey, we may just stay here. This may be home. No.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've got our numbers up and I have already looked this morning and I was really excited to see some of these. So let's go.
Hang on.
Right.
There's one number on here that I am shocked by.
You probably are shocked by the same one. So let's just
Which one? You first.
I was surprised to see the solds.
Nope, not mine.
Oh, okay. Well, that surprised me. I thought that was a large number. Well,
if you look on 4th of July, that was the end of the previous month, and we sold 90 that week too. So what's interesting that says that July had the same velocity in Rockwall County that June had.
Right. Yeah.
Which I find really interesting. The number that I thought was really interesting was the expired listing number.
2.
So at the end of July, only 2 listings expired.
Yeah.
And
one
County.
Withdrawn.
So here's the weird thing, and this is where conversation just gets weird, is we know there's change coming. We know there's economic shift coming. We feel it in the air, yet we keep looking at these numbers and I'm going, 2 expired listings, 90 closings. Like, it's hard to keep saying that, but then I jokingly say Gary Keller always makes mention like, hey, if you say something's going to happen long enough, it eventually will happen. So maybe we should just keep saying it. I don't know. Anyway, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. So we go into Dallas County. I say it's a similar, not as many solds. Let's look at the expired. Now this is a different story here because the expireds are actually up in Dallas, 82. So 1,266 active, 83 coming soon, active contingent option, and then you had 82 expireds, and then
what were the expireds a month ago?
A month ago, it would have been 85. So it's comparable. Yeah.
So I don't know that I'd say it's up. I'd say it's flat.
It's the end of the month.
Yeah.
Going into new, listings being expired. Yep. So then we get to Kaufman. Similar story here, sold 84. If you go back to the end of the month last month, we're at 97. Inventories holding steady. Let's see, expired 11, and then the end of last month was 12. So steady. Heading into Collin County, active inventories holding. You've got 374 sold, which is actually down from last month of 436. And then expireds are the same, steady, 48 and 49. So their sold inventory is a little bit down over last month.
Potentially, like you got to look at a monthly total, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if some counties had a 10% fall off on closings, but we'll see, right? It just depends. What's Dallas County?
So we went Dallas County first. That's the one where the pretty much holding steady, pendings steady, solds were actually a little bit down from last month. 525 sold, 633 sold at the end of June. And then expireds are the same. I mean, 82, actually less. So 82 this month, 85 last month.
So show me how many lake houses expired.
So Henderson, we're looking at expireds back at the end of, oh, this is interesting. Oh yeah, at the end of July, we're 7, and then we're sitting at 10 right now. Active about the same, solds, little down from last July, but holding steady through the end of June, but holding steady through the month of July.
Perfect. So Erika, there's a song by Justin Timberlake called "Bringing Sexy Back." Can you do that?
Let's go. Okay, please hold.
Yeah.
Do we see it? Can we see it?
All right. So somebody used this headline that says "Bringing Sexy Back: How to Get Your Listings Noticed Again." You're a little off screen.
I am.
Half the article's off the screen, but there you go.
Okay. Well, that's the tagline. Here we go.
So what's this mean? I think this is important to start talking about. I think agents, fortunately, over the last couple of years, hasn't had to have had, I don't know if that makes sense, a lot of skill set to get listings sold. Like, we didn't have to go through this crazy, incredible positioning, staging, marketing game. Although it was strategic, not everybody had to do it. What does that mean?
Right. Well, I mean, what you're saying is we could stick a sign in the yard, put it in MLS, and then you could tout that you had 20 offers. You're this great agent. Woo, look at me. And now the market has changed. So we're having to get back to the basics of what it takes to get a listing sold.
Yeah. So if I was a seasoned agent, that would be part of my listing presentation. I'd be saying, you realize that the market over the last 2 years made a lot of people look like heroes, but that didn't actually have them succeed through skill. I bring a skill set to the table on marketing. I bring a skill set to the table on pricing. I bring a skill set to the table on positioning that is actually going to be the skill set that's going to get your home sold today versus what everybody did the last couple of years.
Right. And if I was new to this market, I would be interviewing or finding agents in our office that have been through this before on their listing presentations and what they're doing. Because
if you're new, you didn't pick up any bad habits. So
right.
Even better.
Right. But now you need to create habits because sticking the sign in the yard, taking pictures and putting in an MLS isn't going to be enough to separate yourself. Right. Yep. So yes, back to a skill set. We keep saying that every week.
Yep.
All right, moving on. So I did want to touch on, let's see here. Let me move this. Brett, you're a lot better at this than I am. So here we go. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Sorry. This is what I wanted. Okay. So state of the industry. On Thursday, we're at the regional meeting and we had the opportunity to listen to Jim Talbot, who is a very smart economist for KW. And there was a couple, Brett, you may want to point out a few things here, but there was something I found interesting that I wanted to share, especially when it goes into buyers wanting to wait until the market drops, right? So he had talking about sales. He talked about that it's been 127 months since there's been a huge price depreciation. So I thought that was a good thing to share. And I wanted to share that because that was a big moment for me. We can have buyers that are waiting for this market to crash or whatever words they're saying. It has been 127 months since we've seen a huge price depreciation. And on the flip side, he said it takes 7 to 9 months of inventory before we're actually going to see that. So again, it puts us in this interesting dynamic of a market. But
Well,
that's
hang
what
on.
I wanted to point out.
Slow that down a little bit.
Okay, which part?
So leading indicator says you're going to see days on market go up first.
Mm-hmm.
Second indicator says you're going to see inventory build, and that means months of inventory, right?
Correct.
And then if that continues to build, the lag measure of that is a price depreciation.
Correct.
Can you show me any of that on charts yet?
On what?
On charts. Can you show me days on market going up?
Oh, right now?
Yeah,
It's going up a little bit. It's going up about, yep.
Can you show me inventory going up?
Yes.
A little bit.
A little bit. We're definitely not in a huge influx of inventory.
So there's two conversations here. One is, hey, it's something to keep our eye on.
Correct.
Second conversation is, how do I dispel the objection that prices are going to go backwards? Well, I have to be able to show that days on market is not getting out of control at all. I mean, it is creeping up, but it's not 180 days. People forget, like, your house used to be on the market for 180 days.
That was normal. Mm-hmm.
That was normal. And we're not seeing 6 months of inventory. And you can show these numbers and help dispel the rumor that prices are going to have to depreciate in order to get sold. I don't see that happening. Now, I will full disclose, my financial advisor, who loves to play in the Wall Street world, he thinks they are. I don't. I disagree. Everything's an opinion, obviously, right now.
Sure.
But my opinion is we're going to have price appreciation slowing, but I don't think we will see prices going backwards. I would say there's parts of the country that might, but I don't believe Dallas Fort Worth will see price depreciation, period.
His prediction that we got permission to share. And again, it's an opinion. It's based on his facts and knowledge. He thinks the appreciation at most will slow to about 10%, which is still more than normal. And then going back into 2024, back to our normal appreciation. But based just on sheer data, he doesn't see a huge price depreciation in our future. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So I did want to share that.
But I just want to, hang on, I'm trying to really make a point here. Like,
okay.
How do we coach our agents? How do we engage in dialogue around how to dispel this? These people are going to say, this is going to be a conversation.
It is. And that's one reason I wanted to bring it up, because I know I hear it on a daily basis. So I'm sure our agents are hearing it on a daily basis, and to empower them with data, factual data, will help have conversations and take the emotion out of it. So first thing is, really tracking it and understanding what is happening in order to have a conversation around it. Yeah. And being on these calls.
Well, I think an easy way to say it, another way to say it is, what controls pricing is supply and demand.
Correct.
And we have high demand and low supply. Until we have high supply and low demand, prices aren't going anywhere.
That's right.
And, I think anybody can understand that analogy, or at least most people can. And right. I think it'll help you in those conversations. All right, moving on.
All right. So I did want to just point that out. Was there anything from the conversation with him that you wanted to point out? Or are we good to move on?
No, I just think home sales monthly, what most people are saying is we're looking like we used to look like in 2019.
Correct.
And take the excess of 2020 and 2021 off the table. We look like, as a real estate industry, what we looked like in 2019. And by the way, that was a really good year. Now,
It was. Yeah.
you're going to see all these numbers that are going to say down 10% or this, that, the other. It's because we've been living in excess for 2 years.
That's right.
But it doesn't mean that the sky is falling. It just means we're moving back to what 2019 looked like.
Yeah.
It was still a pretty good year. I remember taking a vacation in 2019.
Yeah. There's a correction being made that needed to happen. So let's move on to, well, let's see here. I can't see the top of this. Hold on. Okay, so you sent me this one. Housing affordability plunges to lowest level since 2006. The property market's great slowdown is here, Bank of America says.
Yeah, which is all negative, right?
Exactly.
Here's why this article is important. Affordability matters.
It does.
Okay? If you live in California, you live in New York City, affordability is a major concern. One of the toughest cities in the world for real estate, London, England, because affordability is like next to none there. You almost have to be a multimillionaire to own property in most of the big city. And you think about that and then you translate it to our world. Dallas-Fort Worth is extremely affordable. We continue to have new construction. Now, it may not be the most desirable location, but the price of a new home is extremely affordable in our area compared to others. And they believe the great slowdown is here. I think that's a little bit of a clickbait, as I like to call it. I do think our price appreciation will slow down. I think demand will cool off a little bit, but I don't see supply going up, and that's the difference.
Well, and our data still supports that. You know, we really haven't seen supply and demand still there. There has been some price sticking. There is price stickiness happening, but the demand is still really high. The phone's still ringing. But I wanted to bring this up after what we just talked about, because these are this is what our people are seeing. So we need to be aware of what's out there so you can have conversations around it when people bring it up to you, because they will. I did want to show this just because I thought it was interesting. I need to find it. Hold on. Let me move this because it's messing with my screen sharing. Okay. I don't know if this is true, not true. I'm pretty sure there's some validity to it, but Abbott came out saying that he foresees a very large property tax cut coming next session. Again, I'm showing this for awareness. I did read the article. There's been an influx of monies come into the state of Texas due to the high increase of property taxes. So I just wanted to make this aware because I've had a couple people bring it up to me. And
so why would that be important?
Why is this important? Well, a couple things that helps with the affordability piece, for sure.
So this would be a government tackling legislation to impact affordability in our market.
Right. So we won't really know anything till next year, from what I'm understanding in this article, but I do think it's something to keep your eye on and to be aware of something that's being proposed. So any thoughts on that?
No, I think it's just speaking directly to affordability, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing about affordability is it's interest rates and taxes and insurance all play into affordability outside of price, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gotten some buyers recently that I'm aware of out of contention because of the tax rate being so high.
Right.
So let's see. Let's go into, I like to talk about just what's coming in, because we talk about the supply and demand constantly. So anytime there's new infrastructure, new jobs coming to the DFW area, I think it's good to be aware. So this is just talking about that Carrollton's bringing in a huge business park that'll bring 6 buildings. We talked about last week that going up 75 think will be a huge opportunity for growth. So this is just more it's awareness again around what is coming. Businesses are still moving here. They're going to need a place to live. So this is really just bringing up for awareness for everybody, just to know that there's still businesses moving into DFW.
Well, what's funny is, we went through a period of time for about 10 years. You didn't even see a crane in downtown Dallas. So to see little buildings like this and the construction going on speak heavy to the people's optimism around the economy going forward.
Right. And I didn't send this article to you, but there's several downtown buildings that are being converted into apartments. So again, that just goes back to what you're saying, that there is a lot of optimism around the DFW area. So really, we really went through a lot of the stuff that we shared with each other this morning.
So let's summarize. So market's still holding pretty strong. The inflation numbers in America are going to have the government very motivated to pull those numbers down. How are they going to do it? They're going to continue to raise rates aggressively until they pull that down. Does that 100% automatically translate to mortgage rates going up? No, but it can, right? They're somewhat related, but not directly related. Housing is a little bit, it's affected by inflation, but it's not all about inflation, meaning the normal consumer that's not buying and selling real estate, their credit cards are affected by the Fed rate, but the price of gas is not necessarily directly related to the housing industry, right? So inflation is a big picture, not just our industry, and that's important to understand. And then the second thing is understand how to talk about supply and demand with consumers. And right now we're in a market where demand is still high, supply is low. We anticipate demand to slow down, but we don't necessarily anticipate supply to go way up. And because we don't anticipate supply to go way up, it actually is healthy for our market to stay pretty strong.
Right.
And you won't see price depreciation and all the above because of it.
Right. And one thing we didn't touch on this morning is the Fed, when 0.75 basis points, the interest rates actually went down 2 weeks in a row. So it affects it, but it's not direct correlation. And I don't believe a lot of consumers know that. I actually heard people on the phones on speaker and consumers saying that the Fed rate, the exact words were, the Fed raised the mortgage rates 0.75. So there is definitely a disconnect between what consumers understand. So it's our responsibility to really, we don't have to be experts, but to have a basic understanding of the correlation of the two. I would say, yes, know the interest rates, what's happening there, supply, demand, and then still watching those factor numbers, days on market, inventory, because those are going to be indicators of what could be some price decreases. Again, I don't think we'll see a whole lot just because of supply and demand, but I still think it's a great time for sellers and buyers. I would circle back to buyers that got fatigued because they're able to get into homes. The opportunity for them to get a decent interest rate into a home without a lot of competition is high right now in certain price points. Yeah. So I would, man, get into your database, and the ones that were just fed up a couple months ago, reach back out today, because it's a huge opportunity and the interest rates are still very, very good, honestly. So,
But here's the thing, even when they go up higher, they're still good.
they're still good.
It's all a relative thing that all goes back to affordability.
That's right.
And the truth is, the cost of money is irrelevant based on return. So if your price in a house is appreciating 10% a year and you're paying 8% interest on the money, you're winning.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
well, that's really all
now,
I had today. Oh, go ahead.
That's all I have. You did a good job driving.
Thanks. Now, are you actually driving or are you riding?
Listen, I'm not going to get yelled at by 1,000 people, so I'm just sitting still.
All right. Well, be safe, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.